I write each day with hopefully some new food for thought for you. However, too knowing that writing and thinking about these words and sentences and topics are healing for me too. I also am so fortunate to have my family and individuals that I appreciate who have an open mind to all that I share. I understand that anything could be questioned or misunderstood, but I will say that the truth is misunderstood and that you don't need to understand all of it. Such presumptions is often the limitation, when my intentions are clear and the path is one you make and help create. Yes, think of the website like your website. What changes would you make? Let me know. Think of the videos. What videos would you do? How about you consider making them yourself? What's going to allow you to give yourself that personal investment? I know that if you truly want good, you don't want to get too much involved, but a flag is a simple command, and I know that if you truly just want to be a part of something and have more meaning, a flag in getting out there is a simple way to do this with great reason. When I say I love all people, I mean it. All people can be part of nita. If they spin anything to their own degree, nothing will get rid of what's revolving and what is naturally evolving. Just like health, people generally know what has to be done. And I can tell you that the arguments and complications come about often due to simply our complexities, man-made world of this law must be that, and this tax must be this, and specifications that essentially don't have to do with everyday attainable common sense. So take away these boundaries and people generally know what has to be done as humans, not as politicians or anything like politics. There also often exist boundaries of excuses that people like to make for themselves, in every degree perhaps to not committing to the change starting with themselves. When I say starting with themselves, I mean it in every regard, from thoughts to actions, from them to others, and so on. If there's excuses in every degree, you won't reach your degree, because it's been degraded. Yes, fix the in to get the out. In every way of looking at such, the same applies. So get rid of those self-boundaries, and that in may actually want to come out and shine. So that in may actually want to come out and shine, literally to becoming the out, going outside, becoming the outsider. Now, although you are an outsider to perhaps all those you meet, you too are an insider, because you may seek how they truly feel inside. You may inspire them to find that part of them inside, like you have, because you have a heart you feel inside. Your energy radiates, it shines. But like every cell in your body, it has a vibration, a frequency. Inside, out, good vibrations. What do you think will happen? Okay? What do you think will happen when you have inside, out, good vibrations? You have good energy and good response as an outsider, because the inside of the other individual became open and accepting to your radiation. Perhaps then you may see to focus on openness and acceptance. However, your energy, although it shines and spills, their energy does too. Learn to recognize and act in fulfilling their balance. It's not that you have to slap someone with the truth, but perhaps that you have to put the rock on the other side of the scale, so that a balance naturally comes about and the truth is found. Placing the rock, know what the rock is, the right weight of words to use, and place it on the scale being the conversation, and the placing being when to transmit the energy of spoken language. Speak to them as if they are trying to obtain a similar degree. You perhaps have graduated more often. You have more degrees because you did more inside work. You found the perfect degree of temperature for balance, for harmony, for living. Become the very thing you seek to aspire. You don't need the title to do this, but the title can inspire you. Such examples may include a doctor or teacher or anything. You say, quote, I want to become blank. And so you set the degree, the angle of your mind toward the object of view. And you achieve it even if it's not entirely at view right now. Now, this is used for reference because while nita doesn't stand as a title or anything, it's a representation to which titles often aspire the same. Knowing this is knowing your degree, whether it be achievement upon a forever journey, or an angle of measurement for direction, or temperature of measurement for balance. All these also connect to one another. For example, you can't place a rock on a degree of an angle that's already unbalanced. The rock will always fall toward down that angle with that angle. This shows the importance of setting the degree before placing the rock, but also that the angle is just as important as the temperature, and both are just as important as the achievement, for through both you may achieve such. Now, what was the achievement set to anyways? Well, it should have been set to the degree, just as the degree should have been set to it. The symbiotic or synergistic relationship in the world shows us that everything is a balance, that while we may focus on one thing like statism, we cannot forget the other thing, anarchy. Getting rid of beliefs that aren't in service to nature is one thing, introducing beliefs that are is another. Or is it? If it's simply a matter of balance, like the rock, it's just adding in. So perhaps it is just adding in a flag, or talking to others, or thinking more, or being more proactive. If they are all of promoting positive expression in human nature, then we may naturally move in the right direction. We may naturally find balance. Direction, as previously mentioned, may be seen as angle. So if we are on one big massive scale of great imbalance currently, and nita seeks to fulfill a balance, what direction do we take? Up the hill, up the burden, to the other side of the scale. While we can't get everyone, we can definitely get most individuals. And then when we realize that we can get all individuals naturally, as later in the process, like being swooped or crowded out, or eyes seeing clear, both sides seek equilibrium in the middle. But there may not even be sides to associate as collectives for the most part, because we currently live in a society where the collective is of the focus. Therefore, this scale becomes tinier, or people straight off walk past the scale. Well, why are we measuring? Well, why are we picking sides? Why should anyone be able to observe this scale? In other words, why are certain individuals able to see zombies over here and different zombies over there? And why should certain individuals observe everything on the scale as if the humans among it don't matter? Who created any scale? Who is running scales on top of scales? Is their whole life scales upon others because they are unbalanced themselves, or because they have much use of the reptilian scale-like brain? So it's either you see life as full of potential, full of absorbable in flow and balance, full of life, essentially full of water and moisture, or you see life as full of scales, dry, without water, for which we cannot live without. There exist many elements, indeed too many topics. The scale and degree is just some. But just see how a human can give it their all. See how a human is of all. Don't be full of yourself either. Be full of all, including water. Don't feed the fire. Don't get caught up in the fire. Don't be afraid to play with fire. The fire does have to be addressed, but be careful. Careful. Be the source of life, the source of light in a dark cavern. Let the dark only motivate you. You with the light more toward finding more light. Nita is a lantern. It's also a matter of time, an hourglass. You still have water within, but perhaps you seek the tree outside, the sun outside. Help humanity navigate their direction, create the ripple effect, the rays of the light. Help share and show and find the light, the visible, living, and or active truth.